What if the Rh-negative bloodline isn't rare by accident? Across the mountains of northern Spain and southern France, the Basque people stand as a genetic mystery. Their language, Euskara, has no known linguistic parent, no Indo-European roots, no Middle Eastern branches. It exists alone, like a voice carried from a world long gone. Add to that their genetic markers, ancient mitochondrial lines that don't fully match any surrounding tribes, and an Rh-negative rate so high that even population geneticists shrug and call it an anomaly. A people without an origin, a bloodline without a map. According to Genesis, after the Watchers corrupted humanity, the flood wiped out hybrid bloodlines. Only 8 humans survived the entire world reset. Noah, his wife, his 3 sons, their wives. Scripture says Noah was pure in his generations, untainted by the fallen angel's genetics. But here's the question almost no one asks. What if a branch of Noah's post-flood descendants refused to stay at Babel? What if they walked away from the rebellion, away from the mixing, away from the rising cities, and sought out the edges of the earth to preserve what they carried? When researchers trace prehistoric migrations out of the Near East, there's one path that stands out, a slow westward drift that ends not in Rome or Greece, but in the remote Pyrenees Mountains, isolated valleys, hidden passes, villages tucked in stone cliffs where strangers rarely entered. If a remnant wanted to guard a bloodline, with the need of preservation, this would have been the perfect refuge. And what do we find there today? A population with the highest Rh-negative concentration on Earth, a language untouched by the world, and traditions that predate almost every known European culture. Coincidence? Maybe. But coincidence rarely leaves this many fingerprints. Modern science says Rh-negative is simply a missing antigen, but myth looks at patterns, and patterns look a lot like intention, a blood type that resists blending, a people whose origins cannot be traced, a trait strongest in one of the most isolated regions on the planet, with biblical discernment that sounds less like mutation and more like memory. Memory of a world before the Watchers, memory of the line God preserved, memory of the original unaltered design. Maybe the Basques aren't a genetic riddle at all. Maybe they're a living reminder that not every human line was touched, not every lineage was rewritten, not every spark from the ancient world was lost. Some blood survives, some stories hide in the mountains, and some remnants refuse to disappear. The pure line, the lost lineage, or just a coincidence?